Yeah, hold on. Yeah, maybe there's some.
Sweet.
See, I'm so nice about my mom.
You are.
Is this the?
Yeah.
Should I lower it? Is that good? Should I raise my seat?
Raise your seat a bit.
I don't know how to do it. I'm too dumb. Too dumb. The red bottoms are very hard to walk in.
Why is the right there? Hey guys, welcome to our live Q&A. As always, I do have to go over the waiver. The information provided on this live Q&A does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice. Instead, all information, content, and materials available in this live Q&A are for general informational purposes only. Information on this live Q&A may not constitute the most up-to-date legal or other information. Viewers of this live Q&A should contact an attorney to obtain advice with respect to any particular legal issues. No listeners, user, or browsers of the site should act or refrain from acting on the basis of the information on this live Q&A without first seeking legal advice from counsel in the relevant jurisdiction. Only an individual attorney can provide assurances that the information contained herein and your interpretation of it is applicable or appropriate to your particular situation. Use of and access to this live Q&A or any of the links or resources contained within the site does not create an attorney-client relationship between the listener, user, or browser and website authors, contributors, contributing law firms, or community members and their respective employees. The views expressed at or through this live Q&A are those of the individual inquirer and their individual capacities only and the law office of Attorney Morse. All liability with respect to actions taken or not taken based on the contents of this live Q&A are hereby expressly disclaimed. The content on this posting is provided as is. No representations are made that the content is error-free. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our live Q&A with Attorney Attorney Morse, and I'm going to bring her in right now.
What's up?
How you doing today? Oh, there we go. Okay.
Remember when that was a thing?
I know, it just kept bouncing back and forth. So my apologies. I take the blame on that 100%. So my apologies to all the listeners and viewers. So how are you today, Erin?
So good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's raining outside right now.
I know.
Hopefully.
It's not the Sunshine State right now.
So what's been new in your world since we last spoke?
Not a whole lot. Had a busy week. A lot of hearings again. I feel like all those hearings that got canceled over that 2-month period are all like now just falling together right now. And yeah, it's been pretty busy, and I'm trying to keep it going.
Awesome. We do have a couple of questions that we did receive from online text message and call-ins.
You didn't. How are you? Wow. Jumped right into it there, Mr. Business.
It's been an emotional roller coaster these past few days. Work is always keeping me busy and keeping my mind off of everything that's going on. But I really can't complain. Always trying to stay positive and keep a smile on my face.
You good otherwise? I know we had some family kind of scare a little bit.
Yeah. So an update on that. This is the first broadcast and I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, earlier this week, my mother tested positive for COVID-19 up in Chicago. And
she's far away.
Yeah. And she's in a nursing home. She is a bit of a high risk because of her health. But we're staying optimistic. We're staying positive. And I had a great conversation with her on Monday after we found out where the best medication for these kind of situations is laughter. and my mother and I had some really dark humor conversations. The conversation that evening, to the point where it brought a smile to my face, kind of took back the weight that's on my shoulders right now. And, just a lot of people have reached out to me, giving me their positivity, their thoughts and prayers. And I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you for giving me some flexibility earlier this week.
Whatever you need, you know the drill.
Oh, yeah, no, and I appreciate you to the fullest. Let's see. Actually, before I even jump into this, any new shows that you're watching or any new things that you want to touch
so
base on?
I know we talk about them all the time. I probably should stop talking about them. I like superheroes. So lately I've been binging Smallville.
Oh, I love that show.
So I didn't watch it the first time.
When it first came out?
Yeah, I wasn't a big TV person when I was a teenager or in high school or even in college. I've never been able to really commit to TV. So this whole streaming service and being able to decide when you watch TV shows really works for my lifestyle. And, but Smallville has been my guilty pleasure lately.
I'm gonna confess something right now. When the show first came out, I had no idea that it was about Superman.
You didn't?
I was like, Smallville, why does that sound familiar?
He always wears red and blue shirt. God, he looks like Superman.
But no, I didn't realize that it was about Superman until they started saying Clark Kent, 30 minutes into the show. I'm like, it's
that Clark Kent.
It's Superman. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm kind of dumb when it comes to those kind of things. Even the show Downton Abbey. For the longest time, I thought it was Downtown Abbey.
Yeah.
And they had no idea. Even Rivendell. Is it?
Riverdale? Yeah.
Riverdale.
The Archie comics?
Yeah. See, I didn't realize that was about the Archie.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Let's see. I just finished Hollywood. I'm starting Midnight Gospel. One's a comedy, one's a drama. But just trying to keep my mind off of everything that's going on.
Right.
You want to dive into the first one?
May as well.
Let's do it. All right. The first one comes out. Is it legal for first cousins to have a child in Florida?
Yes.
It's legal for them.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't be considered incest in any way, shape, or form?
I don't think that incest, even though it isn't legal, I don't think it's prosecuted.
So it's a law that's just there, but never really
right. Have you ever gotten a jaywalking ticket?
Never. I did get pulled over for going really fast on my bike one time. I know.
Motorcycle or bicycle?
Bicycle.
Hey, buddy, why don't you slow down on that cycling?
I was late for work and I was pedaling my heart out, and
you're gonna sprain an ankle. What are you?
And out of all places, it was Osceola County, and the cop pulled me over. He's like, "Where are you going in such a hurry?" Going to work. I'm like, I didn't know I could get pulled over on a bike.
I don't think you got pulled over for that being a bicycle. Here's not reading the room. That was some racial profiling.
You know what? I think you're absolutely right now that I think about it. Wow.
Yeah.
Screw you, Osceola.
It was just like being running. Them stopping you running. It isn't illegal for you to run.
It's really sad that we're still living in an era where.
But where are you going, sir? Bro, you are no racial profiling.
We'll be more careful next time. So I guess it is legal to marry.
What you should do is be like, I'm riding my bike to my law firm job. Did you have a question? That's really what you should say.
I'm always afraid to have my card or my name tag visible in case something that
you're afraid to.
I don't know how to react in that kind of situation.
You would say, please call my boss.
I'm going to do that now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take advantage of it, but I will do that now if I get pulled over next time.
I kind of should. I'd come. I would.
Oh, no, I know you totally would. And I appreciate you to the fullest on that one. The next one we have, in a simplified dissolution of marriage in Broward, what does it mean when the clerk says multiple pleadings must be added?
You done fucked up, son. You didn't. There are a very large series of required pleadings and procedural documents and certain things that need to be filed with your dissolution of marriage. And it looks to me like the clerk is actually probably being kinder to you than they need to really be. And they are telling you that you are missing a lot of documents. So what you really probably need is, I would make sure that you at least pay for an attorney to review it, not a paralegal, like an independent paralegal. Patricio could handle it, but and ask them what other documents you need to file. Like, it would be worth paying that consultation fee, asking them to pull up and review your docket and figure out what needs to be filed. So multiple pleadings must be added means you missed some things.
How many documents does it take, like, on just your standard uncontested divorce?
Let me count them. Ready?
Yep.
Petition, answer, acceptance. If a contested or uncontested? Uncontested.
Let's say, like,
okay.
Me and wifey, we don't want to be with each other. We got no kids, no property. We're just going our own separate ways.
Between 10 and 12.
Between 10 and 12.
That's with no children.
Okay.
With children, you probably want to add another 4 to 5.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So no kids on my part, thank God.
Yeah.
But thank you for your
that you know of.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. I'm not even going to go into that one. I'm not going to touch that. We might have some a listener or listeners, and they might talk through the grapevine. So I'll be careful.
Yeah, but you work for a custody, so.
You know what? Once again, you got my back. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So just flip them your card.
Oh. All right. The next one that we have. My wife just filed for divorce. I need help on how to explain this to my kids. I love them with all my heart, and I don't want to upset them. Please help.
Well, hopefully you and your soon-to-be ex-wife have a nice, good relationship that the two of you hopefully could have a conversation together. Mommy and daddy really love you. Our relationship isn't working out. And kind of the big picture lesson that you want to give to your children in whatever way that you say it is, two good people who are parents at times no longer love each other or fall out of love. That means they are still both good people. You have two excellent parents who love you and want to be your parents. And we are going to figure out what's best for you. And you need not worry because we love you. It's not your fault. And don't worry about it. But daddy and mommy will no longer be living together. And we are going to work through this time to make sure that we both have the opportunity to have a relationship with you and that we all get to live the happiest life that is possible. No blaming. It's no one's fault.
I wish I would have gotten those words when I was a kid. He never came back from the bodega.
Yeah. Oh, I went to go get cigarettes. So, it's no one's fault. I love you. We love you now. We love you forever. We love you always. We're both going to continue to be in your life, and we're going to figure this out, and you have nothing to worry about. And that's always the conversation. And if they ask you details, just say, you know what? That's not for you to worry about. That's an adult conversation that your mother and I are going to have.
Talk to my attorney.
Yeah, right. Flip them the card, right? No, you actually don't even want to really let them know that you have lawyers involved, that this is an ongoing court case. Like the goal, and it's in the statute, is you want to shield them as much as possible from the pending litigation. That's kind of your big picture with that. You want to be shielded from the litigation. Now,
have you dealt with cases where either party used the children against the other party?
All the time, and it's such a mistake. It really is, and it's a mistake because, first of all, it's harmful to the children, and second of all, the courts hate it. Like you're barking up the wrong tree with this, right? Your children really need to not feel at all like there's this ongoing conflict. They don't deserve it. You don't deserve to have to be cornered into this. If I hear a person say, well, I don't lie to my children. This isn't about lying or telling the truth to your children, right? You do plenty lie to your children. You do not tell them that you like to do that thing that you do behind closed doors. I'm sure that you don't tell them about that. And if they were to ask you about it, I'm 100% sure you would tell them it's none of their business and that's not an issue for children to know. Okay?
Fair and valid.
So if, there are a lot of adult type issues and conversations that you don't have with children. I'm sure there are plenty of subjects that I could make everybody very uncomfortable with talking about, right? Sexual assault, children or to rape, and things that you don't tell your children about, right?
Yeah.
Murders, serial killers, like the world's an ugly place, and you don't have those conversations with your children.
And I guess it's, well, I don't want to say it's your responsibility as a parent to shield them from that until they're able to comprehend it.
You're sure not having a prostitution discussion with them.
Of course not.
Of course not.
I don't know why I looked up for a second. I'm like, no, you don't have.
No, you looked up for a second because you're like, right, like you just wouldn't. So darn well that you don't have that conversation with your children. This is another example. I know you feel like you want to tell them everything, but that really is rooted in your anger. That's rooted in your anger for the other party. And I get it. That's a hard truth. That sounds very mean. You're going to disagree with me, but I have a lot of clients who actually this happens to me today with actually both an employee and a client where there's a running joke that it's almost like Stockholm syndrome with me because I will give you like that very harsh truth because and I always make sure to make this clear to my clients and to my employees. I'm like, you would rather me having this uncomfortable conversation with rooted in reality and giving you these hard truths and answering these kind of things for you on your behalf.
Would that be considered like an assertive motive, like, showing tough love? Or
I mean, I think of it that way. And again, you would rather me asking you this very uncomfortable question than the judge or opposing counsel or someone else, right? You would much rather me make you uncomfortable behind this closed door, between you and I, because I've already kind of put the worst out there, if you will. So since I've already done that and I've already kind of rattled your cage, you're not going to be afraid of this. Once we get in front of a judge, what's the worst that they could say to you? You're prepared with it, right? You're prepared to repair these kinds of behaviors. You're prepared to face it. Or the other case scenario, I guess I kind of hold on to the like, oh, I told you so. I don't often have to do that. I usually have really good clients who once I have these conversations with them and it does upset them. And unfortunately, this process is full of a lot of hard realities and it is upsetting. And I don't pretend that it's not. I don't pretend that it's easy. I don't make any comparisons on those kind of things, but the reality of these truths are hard and they're hard to swallow. And I am sure that you would rather hear it from me in the privacy and under our little umbrella of attorney-client privilege, right? It stays in the circle of truth, right? What is
the circle of trust.
Circle of trust. It stays in the circle of trust where, you get to be angry. You get to talk all the smack you want about your significant other.
Hit the table.
All the things. I hit the table a bunch of times today. I was like, you're not listening to me. So again, you would rather it come from me in that scenario at that time rather than in front of the judge. Or my clients end up the kind of people who are like, are never the kind of people who are like, I didn't know they were going to ask that. Yeah, you did.
Because you prepped them beforehand.
I'm like, you would rather be uncomfortable. And that client, I give her a lot of credit because, she has a really difficult situation that she's going through. And I don't, she's in an unenviable situation. She really is working hard to get through this. She called later and she spoke to Alex and said, hey, I want to let you know that I heard Erin and I'm thankful that she did that. She was upset. I was worried I maybe went too far. I asked Patricia, I'm like, did I go too far?
But it was something that needed to be said. And
it is out of love. It's because, I don't need to do that. I don't need to get my emotions all riled up. I don't, this.
You ain't got time for that.
Right. Ain't nobody got time for that. But it was important to me. Like I had to get through to her and big picture in my mind is like, I care about her kids.
Definitely.
I want her kids to have the best experience in getting through this. And, you know, I think about that, and I think seriously about her children, and I'm like, her children deserve me to make her uncomfortable so maybe I can get through to this situation. They deserve somebody who doesn't know them, who never met them, who never saw them, to actually argue the hard things, right? To say the things that are difficult, right?
Yeah.
At one point, I had to make the comparison about creepy guys trying to date you.
Yeah.
And
my eyes widen up so big when I'm like, whoa, wait, what?
It was so funny because I gave a bunch of other like comparative.
Yeah, you gave
a bunch. I was going through a bunch of things. I'm like a recipe and this and coloring a picture, and I went through a bunch of things on this. But for some reason, the like creepy guy trying to date you one got through to her the most. She was like, "That makes so much sense." I'm like, "Hey, I did it! I finally hit the nail on the head with something that result."
You hit it pretty hard, and I think she got the message.
And again, her children deserve me to be the person to kind of go hard and I want to help. I want to help that happy family.
Yeah, awesome. Let's go to the next one. If one of my relatives gave me money, gave money to me rather than to both my spouse and I, will I have to split the money if we get divorced?
I mean, maybe. It depends. God, I need that.
We need the signs.
I need the sign. It depends. Did they gift it to the two of you and you put it in a place where it was commingled? Is this relative someone where it's tantamount to being a
I put it right there on the screen for you.
Yeah. It's tantamount to it being an inheritance. An inheritance you wouldn't have to split if you commingled it, if it was just a deposit into your joint bank account. So maybe.
So a lot of factors would have to play.
A lot of factors. If you don't want it to be commingled, perhaps as a condition of you accepting the money, it would be worth having a post-nuptial agreement to that effect.
Okay.
That this particular item is X, Y, and Z in contemplation of the continuation of our marriage, those kind of things, like that might be worth your while, depending on how much it is, right? But if it's, $75.
Sounds like this guy just wants to be a little greedy with what he just got from family.
Or it is
what it is.
We have some strategies we can come up with. I got some ideas. Call me.
Thank you so much for the question. The next one coming up is it legal for my husband to only deposit half his pay into our joint account? I can't access the rest.
Well, are you still married? If my assumption is upon the fact that you're still married, then he can do whatever he wants because the divorce court doesn't care about married couples. They care about only couples who want to get divorced when they have filed to get a divorce. So right now at this time, what it appears is that you are in an intact marriage and you want more of his money. It depends. But if you're getting divorced and he only puts half of his pay into the joint account, again, yeah, that's probably still fine.
All right. Thank you so much for the question. Next one.
Pay isn't necessarily your pay.
So can you say that one more time out loud for everyone here?
For the ones in the back, his pay isn't necessarily your pay. But my advice to you is to take this time while you're married. It sounds to me like you have some breakdown of your marriage. Is to take this opportunity while you're married to get educated and get your student loans to make sure that they're marital. Take out your student loans, become educated, get yourself in a place where you have a career and you don't have to depend on him, especially if he's the kind of person that is like, you're only entitled to half of my pay while you're still married. There seems to be some pettiness or some financial disagreements, and financial disagreements is like a really big hot button on marriages kind of falling apart.
Thank you so much for the question. The next one, it doesn't sound much of a question, but it sounds like this guy is venting. My kid's mom is driving me crazy
I'm so sorry.
and not following our temporary parenting plan. I don't want to delay my case, but shit is getting insane. She keeps the kids longer and never brings them on time.
If you have a temporary parenting plan, it sounds like you need to hold her in contempt so that you can tell the court.
Will filing a motion for contempt delay the case?
No.
No.
You can have your contempt heard at trial, but it doesn't sound to me like you have a trial set.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if you hold her in contempt, there's 3 or 4 strategies you can take. Does the court need to re-review your parenting plan? Is she in contempt because she's incapable? Is she in contempt because of some other good reason? This one needs a consult.
Yeah.
It depends.
And for that one that needed a consult, I am going to put that one right there at the bottom. Feel free to give us a call, 407-900-7451, or visit our website, morse-firm.com. Let's go to the next one. Let me turn off the clicker. There we go. Will the court consider the fact that my ex cheated on me in deciding whether or not I have to pay spousal support?
No.
So infidelity, never a factor.
Not never a factor.
Not never.
Right? It's a factor in dissipation of assets.
Okay.
And if you kind of do stupid things in front of your children, it will be a factor in how capable you are to be a parent. So don't be putting your children in these precarious situations. But it's not going to be a factor. Florida's a no-fault divorce state. So as soon as you think a significant other is cheating, end the relationship if you believe that's right. You are not on screen, sir.
You're fine.
Someone has walked into our office unannounced and without an appointment. So,
but he will play a special factor towards the end, I believe. But yeah,
more on that later.
Mm-hmm. Oh, beautiful! Thank you so much. I forgot that this is not a twist off. Thank you so much for that question. Let's get that one out of here. And ow, I did that pretty hard.
Oh, honey.
No, and the crazy thing is, I have one on my keychain. And
smart, yeah.
Yeah, I was stupid on that one.
I
My
know.
bad. Where was
root
this?
beer? Root beer is what he's drinking.
Here we go. What advice and/or counsel can you offer a person who is uncertain about divorce that will help them decide if divorce is the right option or not?
It's hard.
That's a loaded question, right there.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to ask them questions, right? I really, what can help? Yeah, I need a song. What could help is, where do you see your future with this person? Is this someone you want with you in 5 years? When you see yourself in 5 years, is it with this person? Do they have the same goals for the future as you do, right? Do they have financial goals that are similar to you? Do they have family building goals that are similar to you? There are a lot of things that are really important in making this factor. The only person capable of making this decision is you. I am not capable of making this decision, but I really think that if you are on the fence about if you need a divorce, I am not the phone call you should make. What you should do is you should seek some counseling, both individual and couples counseling. And if you feel like there is some major problem in your marriage that you have come to a stalemate with your spouse about, then what you should do, truly what you should do, is you should seek out, draw your line in the sand somewhere, right? So if you say that that's going to counseling and they need to go for 6 months and that's what you need to absolutely stay in this marriage, and if you think that you need, I don't know, you need to have 2 dates a month and that's what you need. If you need more help around the house, I understand that these sound like small issues, but they're not. They compound and they become the reason that you get a divorce, because you will find other reasons to nitpick through this. And it really may be because he doesn't do enough of the making the kids lunches, right? That, wife comes home from work and the husband is sitting on the couch and the children's lunches for tomorrow need to be made and their homework isn't done. And, he's watching TV and coming up with some cockamamie business idea that you've already kind of had some financial ruin as the result of, right?
He wants to be a DJ or something.
No, cockamamie shit. I had a case where it was crazy. She came to me and I said, draw your line in the sand. You need to do this. You need to get a job. He was educated. He had an advanced degree and a license to practice with this advanced degree.
Oh, wow.
But he was coming up with these weird business things, and he wanted another $400,000 to put in this online startup. And she goes, I'm supportive of you and your business ventures, but we've already done this and I lost $300,000. Like I don't need to double down with $400,000 as she kind of slaved away in her own business. And she was like, and I come home and the children are, dirty, unfed, need lunches, need this. It's 6:00 and I hate you, right? It's kind of where she was. And I told her, I'm like, well, did you say this? And did you say that? And did you draw your line in the sand? And again, like that's a kind of a long story, but I guided her to like, draw your line in the sand, demand this, say he needs to go to the counseling, say what you guys need is you need this 6 months of counseling. And this is just my suggestion, right? But tell him and draw your line. And when you draw your line, you have to stick to it, because if you don't, you're just going to have another 3 years of this kind of nonsense and this back and forth type of thing where you continue to live this life where you feel like Atlas shrugged, right?
Yeah, you need to stand your ground at that point.
You do. So, the demand is 6 months of counseling and more if it's recommended. It's, 2 date nights a month, and it's doing your part with the children. I also don't want to be your boss on that, right? As a reminder, you've got to make the children's lunches. Did you do that? I'm on my way home, right? Moms and wives, in this case, she didn't need to do that. She doesn't, your children need lunches. What were to happen if she wasn't there? Or she went away for a whole week. You just wouldn't feed the children? No.
No, heck no.
No, bum, get off the couch.
The children, not mugwise.
So anyway, she doubled down. She really got aggressive, and she focused on that. And once she told him all of those things, he actually did come around. He heard her out. She said, if you don't do this, I want a divorce. She had to say that seriously. I've tried all these other approaches. You don't seem to be here for it. I think I'm going to need a divorce. And she sent me wine basket.
Beautiful.
Because it worked. So sometimes I save marriages.
Thank you so much for the question. This one, I think you're just going to knock out of the park. My girlfriend and I, my girlfriend and her 2 kids live with me. If I ask her to move out and she refuses, what legal action can I take?
File your paternity action before you have her move out. Have her served there. I can bet she'll move out. But you need to establish your paternity. It is not established at this time. I did forget. I know. That is my husband accusing me of forgetting tasks that I was supposed to do that I shouldn't have needed a reminder for. Anyway.
But he knows better.
Where's the button?
So if you file for your paternity, you need to establish your paternity, because if she leaves, she can take your children and she doesn't have to let you see them until you file your paternity action. Even if you're on the birth certificate gives you the right to pay for that child, not the right to see it.
Is that the receipt?
Yeah, come with receipts.
Thank you so much for the question. Next one, we got a few more coming up. I moved out of Florida before my wife filed for divorce. Do I need a lawyer who's certified in both Florida and North Carolina?
Moved out before she filed for divorce. Not if you agree.
So, where's the button?
She's in. Yeah, it depends, right? No, you don't need a North Carolina lawyer. You need a Florida lawyer, especially if your wife is here and your intact marriage was last evidenced in Florida.
Thank you so much for the question. Let's take this one out. Turn off the depends.
Florida.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I'll take that one out. Boom. All right, the next one. My husband has full custody. I know you don't like that word. And the mother has had visitation suspended for several reasons. Can she still get school records if she wants them?
It depends. Where's your custody order from? What does your custody order say? But if it is that he has ultimate decision making and her parental rights have not been terminated, then yes, she does have a right to the school records. And she has a right to know what's going on. But like the practicality of some of these things, I would like to quietly and confidentially talk to you about.
Give us a call, 407-900-7451.
It depends, like you're going to have to look to your final order. I want to see your final order. I want to see what that order says, why it says it, and have we established this detriment, and does he have exclusive decision-making authority? Custody, the word custody doesn't give me enough information. I need a couple of paragraphs of information, but generally, at least the way that Florida has it set up, it's likely that she could get that information directly from the school. It would be easy enough to just take some pictures of the major school information and send it. That's your easiest solution.
Thank you so much for the question. Next one is, I think my wife lets her ex get away with too much. She's usually She's usually late picking up and returning the kids, and she's always changing the schedule. Should I have a talk with her? So it sounds like
should you have a talk with her? No, mind your business. Problem, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know, I think you're best set to keep your distance, to let it kind of happen, let it be their parental relationship. If it doesn't seem to bother your wife that much, let it go. And if they seem to be working it out, because there may be other benefits to her having flexibility with his job, like I don't know, maybe her ex is a surgeon and he can't always get out of surgery on a time that pleases her new husband. So I am notorious for leaving work late and being a bit of a workaholic. And I can't imagine, and obviously I'm not living in this circumstance, but I can't imagine if I were in a situation where I had a shared parenting relationship and the new spouse of my ex told me that they don't like that I'm late. I'd be like, I don't care. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much for the question. We have two more, and here is second to last. I had a child, but I wasn't married to the father. He refused to help me financially because he wanted me to have an abortion, and I refused. What can I do?
Call the Department of Revenue to get child support, despite the fact that they frequently get it wrong, but you'll get some money, maybe, if depending on the situation. If you want to file a paternity action, just know that you're opening up the door for time sharing, but that may be helpful to you. I think it would be helpful to me, making sure that time sharing can occur and that there's that complete circle of parenting, I think is what's, I know it's what's best for your child. So you wouldn't be harming anybody. In my humble opinion, you'd be doing the right thing for your children. So yeah, Department of Revenue is probably your easiest, least expensive route. Not your most effective, might not accomplish all the things you're trying to get.
And they're backed up right now.
Oh, don't even with the Department of Revenue.
Ooh, honey. All right, our last question of the evening. Ooh, excuse me. In your past experience, have you ever noticed certain characteristics and or behaviors of a parent, positive and or negative, that plays a role in the child custody outcome?
Yeah, there's a whole statute on them. But being the best shared parent that you can be, sharing the parenting is going to have your largest positive outcome. You know, I recently made a graph on how to communicate better with people, and it's got
very nice graph.
It's got five things. Is it helpful? Is it kind? if the judge were to read this, would they be, proud that I said it, or would they be unfortunate? Am I saying something that is only for the purpose of retribution? Meaning, am I saying or doing something because if he wants to do this, then I'm going to, right? Behaving like that, right? If any of your rests on that, don't do it, right? Write it down, think about it, come back to it later, whatever. But being a shared parent, showing that kind of kindness, and honestly, going to counseling, right? Go to counseling no matter what your situation is. You are in the best position at all times to go to counseling and see how it's not always that counseling is for you. Sometimes it's that counseling is for you to learn the psychological tactics to deal with somebody who's as difficult as your ex is, right? So it's twofold, right? Dealing with them and becoming a better communicator yourself.
Thank you so much for the question. That was our last question of the evening.
We didn't have any more crazy.
The crazy calmed down tonight.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Must be the rain.
It is. Rain tends to mellow people out in a sense, or calm them down.
Yeah,
One of the two.
I don't know.
Words.
Just rinses it out.
So
now's the fun time of these videos. This is why we're getting more viewers right now. I see them popping up.
You wanna bring in your?
Are we going to? Do we have a good topic?
Let's. You know what, Marcos? Could you bring a chair for Sam and join me in the hot seat?
Are you ready for this? Do you want to join?
Where do you want Sam to join?
Right there next to Aaron.
Where?
This is, I don't know, you're with him all the time.
Come on the other side.
Why am I in the hot chair though?
You're gonna come with me and sit down, and we're gonna have an open discussion. All right. So everyone, the two people that just joined us on screen, Marcus Morero, the office manager here at the law office of Attorney Morse.
No.
And you want to introduce?
This is Samuel Orton. He is my husband. Pity him, poor fellow.
Oh no, it's great. She argues all day, so she comes home and doesn't argue with me.
It's true. I'm like, I'm tired.
So,
I love you.
So usually around the end of our Q&A, we tend to let loose, have a little fun. And I brought you, and I'm so thankful that Sam is here as well, because we tend to have great conversations between the three of us. But now that we have Aaron here, I feel that we can have a crazy collabo on a topic. So, Marcos, how about you throw us a crazy or a random topic you want to talk about?
Okay, I got a topic.
All right.
Is collabo a word?
Yeah.
No. It's collaborate.
Collaborate?
But the word collabo.
Whatever, it's not a word. It's collaborate or collaboration.
All right, I just got corrected. So let's collaborate on a topic tonight.
Okay.
Whether it's I was about to say political, and I don't want to throw political at you. No, we're not touching that one.
Was Suicide Squad good or not?
Ooh.
We're on the superhero.
I liked it.
Yeah. So backstory.
It wasn't.
We decided during quarantine we were gonna watch a bunch of movies with our kid, and we decided that we were gonna start with the DC universe.
Well, we did the
Star
Wars universe, and we taught our 8-year-old to that one. Gave our 8-year-old that.
So yeah, that was fun. We started them in the correct order: 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, and had to explain.
I wish we did it 1, 2, 3,
I wish
4, 5,
an 8-year-old was like, "What?
You can't.
No,
I
but
know,
but
it's
for a child, he doesn't understand that 1, 2, the last 3 were originally the first 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Just prequel.
just watch them in order if you got a young kid. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No extra charge for that piece of advice.
Right.
I'm gonna disagree. Like when I have.
Well, good luck. I wish you the best, and I'm going to tell you that the questions will never end, and you will have to explain the storyline.
And I would
100 times.
They're like really long movies to be answering this many questions.
So he's like,
how old was he when he watched it though?
like 8.
So just give him a history book.
It was during quarantine,
Right. I just listened to a podcast. If you ever want to check out Villains, they're doing a Star Wars one this month.
Ooh.
Like me, I didn't watch Star Wars until I started hanging out with Patricio because
You're
You have,
You're
Yeah, my-
sheltered.
my
you live,
nerd
you
guy
live in a
like,
cardboard
oh, wow.
box.
I'm not sheltered. I'm just cool.
No, Star Wars is
because
cool.
I wasn't in band.
Listen, Star
Oh
Wars
my God, I
is
wasn't
cool.
banned.
I know. You
So
didn't even have to tell me.
so we're watching all the DC movies,
So yeah, now we're on DC movies.
and we
superheroes.
just watched Suicide Squad.
And this was exciting for me because
I love Suicide Squad, but I hate the Joker in it. The Joker sucked.
I think a lot of people share that same.
But if you were to take the Joker out, would the movie be good? I think it would. I think it could stand up.
Yeah, I think he didn't even need to be there. I think he could have like been referenced in the background and not even shown.
Like he could have been referenced and had his goons.
Bye, Gabby.
Bye, Gabby.
Could have had his goons,
Dun, 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 dun.
get Harley Quinn, because this Joker was just.
What did you think? Well, when we saw the trailers for Suicide Squad,
I thought it was going to be great,
And they played it up like there was going to be a lot more Joker. Like he's on the
but he wasn't
material.
Joker-ish. He was like a gangster that was just extra.
Painted like a clown.
Right. He was just an extra,
He
like
was
extra
what's
personality.
that? 6ix9ine.
Takashi.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like that.
The
He's a
snitch.
clown.
Yeah, like just a
Surprised
clown
he's still
gangster.
Oh,
So like we watched it and my kid thought it was great. Or our kid thought it was great.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, I was like, dude, it's a good movie. Like, and everyone wants to bash on it, but at the end of it, it's still a superhero movie that
Did you
they
get a
put.
chance to see the standalone Harley Quinn movie?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we saw that in the
Birds of Prey?
theater.
But that changes the whole dynamic of Harley Quinn
I
because
love her.
she took it from taking Harley Quinn as a sexual object to showing Harley Quinn's intelligence.
I don't know if you guys seen the Harley Quinn animated series. So
Yeah,
I'm of the
I
opinion-
watched like
Yeah.
Batman Beyond, Harley Quinn. all
I'm of
that.
the opinion that DC, when it comes to films, like theatrical films, worst ever. Go Marvel. If you want to watch a good superhero movie, go Marvel. But the animated
like
stuff,
their characters.
the characters are great. They just don't relate, or the direction. I don't know if it's the directors, the producers who's messing this up.
It's not
When
even
you
the
put it on
direction.
screen,
I think it's
hard.
like with DC, it's you watch it purely for the fact of it being a superhero movie. Like you take every little part of it and go, superhero science. That's what we say in our house.
Yeah.
You can't understand it. You don't know how it happened. Superhero science. But then it's like Marvel makes it like actually happen. Like
Yeah, they
you look
close
at
that
it and
circle.
you're like, I get it.
Well, my thing is that DC is very good at doing exactly that when it comes to their animated series. So you watch the Batman series, the Superman animated series, the new Harley Quinn series on their DC platform. You watch
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, where they be the
The original
looking-
Teen Titans
yeah.
from back
Yeah.
in like the
From back in the day.
2000s.
2000
Well,
late
even the newer
2000s.
ones, they're goofy, but they're better than the Teen
I
Titans
can't get over the animation.
live action nonsense that they have.
But in my opinion, I feel that DC tends to put more of a darker twist on their storytelling than Marvel, where Marvel is basically, you know, like,
Captain
look at all this
America.
crazy cool stuff. We're throwing you 30 different characters all at the same time. Enjoy the
Glitter,
war.
yeah.
Explosion,
And then they're like,
Fight,
DC's
fight,
like,
America.
Suicide Squad, we're going to put all the bad guys out there, and everybody dies.
Oh,
Everybody
spoiler alert.
dies. Listen, if you haven't seen it by now,
Wednesday Addams' favorite
just
type
give
of
up and just accept Suicide Squad is good, and everybody dies.
I
'cause
didn't
it's
think it was
DC.
good though.
I liked it. Why didn't you like it?
So me, I am the type of person that when I look at a movie like Suicide Squad, I feel like it needs to give a little bit more depth to the characters, especially for people that are coming in. Because I'm a comic book fan too.
Okay, but how much depth can you really get from characters when they're forced to do something or die? Like, there's not
Well,
depth to
just
developing
find
the
that they could've-
characters.
So what Marvel did right was before they got all these people, just smashed them into one film. They gave them all their own films. They could have done the same thing to DC.
I don't think the characters in DC were strong. The characters from Suicide Squad were strong enough to stand alone.
Some of them,
Other than
dude,
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn could have had her own standalone. Deadshot could have had his own standalone. But like the Croc,
No,
Killer Croc, no.
What's this guy's name?
Diablo.
Wakanda Forever.
Black Panther.
Black Panther. Before the Black Panther movies, who was talking about Black Panther?
Right, but I'm saying Killer Croc doesn't have a strong enough backstory. Boomerang, Captain Boomerang,
What?
they gave you his backstory.
It would have been
He's-
great in Australia, but not here.
Right, not here. And then the Diablo, you know, you could go through, but
You got his backstory. It's enough.
I know, but if they made it, it would be another thug banger movie where everyone watches it, and at the end they go, "Yup, it's another banger movie."
No, but even if they had done just Harley Quinn and was it not Deadpool, Deadshot, those would have been, I think, would have sufficed it enough to where you could add the additional characters that don't really. Killer Croc, I agree. Scientist, fucking that's the
Maybe the witch.
That's
She
from
could have had her
Spider-Man.
own.
You're thinking about the lizard.
yeah from Spider-Man.
Dude from
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Killer Croc was born as a genetic mutation.
Yeah.
All right, we are beating this superhero dead horse.
It's superhero, so it's good.
All those in favor that
Dead Horse,
Suicide Squad was a
perfect
good movie,
superhero
say
name.
aye.
I
Yeah, I did like it.
all right. What other kind of hot topics do we have? People are probably like,
How about this
I don't-
Corona? Should we wear masks?
Should we? What do you think, Patricio?
I feel for the moment, if it's a crowded area, yes.
I feel that the only way that we're going to get over this is if everybody gets it and we build up a tolerance to it, just like every
Or a
other virus.
vaccination?
Yeah, but that's
The
going to
vaccination
take.
is going to cause a zombie apocalypse.
Well,
we
the
know that.
Vaccination is going to take a year or two
Ooh.
of research. So
What?
You thought it was the thing.
What?
We were having this conversation when we went to Don's house.
Yeah.
But is it worth everybody being on lockdown for 2 years for a vaccination, or is it
I don't
a
know.
virus where we all get it? It's like the flu. It's just it expanded out of nowhere. But how many people had it and didn't even know they had it because it was here in the United States before
I feel like me and Aaron had
they.
it already.
I think
do
I
too.
had
I
it.
feel, dude. Actually, no. I will say this. Remember, for that like month and a half that both you and I
Aaron
were,
too.
And
We
me,
were just
I had the
like,
same cough. Like everybody.
I
had a
just
cough.
kept working.
and you got it from Connor.
Yeah. So I'm
So
saying
Connor's patient zero.
right. My child is patient zero.
That's from when we all
They
went
need
to
the vaccine
parks.
is here in my veins. They can all.
Did Connor interact with someone from?
Connor interacts with everybody, so
Well, we went to the parks. We went
Connor
to
got it from the
Disney.
Fast Furious, right?
yeah. Hey,
that
that was about
was
the
a
time.
good ride.
Wait, that was about the time we all went
Best
to
ride
Universal.
ever. Go
I'm
to
just
hell.
saying this. I'm just saying that we all got sick about the same
Yeah.
time, right after
We went to Universal
a
and then
firm
we doubled down and took all the kids to
Disney. And there's
Okay,
a lot
best topic ever?
of people.
How good on a scale from good to the best is the Fast and Furious ride?
I would rather have.
I'm out.
I would rather have my fingernails pulled than ever ride that again because the ride did not make sense.
You remember that
know
paper cut,
Connor wants you to
prank?
go on it again.
Right, and that's because I'm
and
a
I'm
good
gonna
dad.
send you.
I'm a good dad, and I'm gonna shut up and be like,
Fist bump.
okay.
It's not happening.
But I think when we were like high fiving in regards to zombie apocalypse, is that where we were high fiving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You want? I say yeah. Go
So
ahead.
I think
Question.
the question was, what would be the best weapon during a zombie apocalypse?
Sam,
A baseball bat with nails through it.
you know I'm right. You know I'm right.
Why?
No, but are you
So-
saying Sam to go first, or just Sam? That's your
No,
weapon?
he is my weapon.
I'm
You
just
have a
saying.
zombie apocalypse. I'm literally just
Every-
gonna like jump in his arms with Connor.
Right,
I'm
but
like, we're good.
Every movie, it's like sound attracts them. So if you're gonna use a gun, use it on a real person, and you're gonna take their shit. Let's be honest. I'm about that. I'm going to do what I have to do to keep my family safe.
I'm just saying,
But at the
y'all
end of
saw
it,
him
it's
in
a blunt-
action.
It's a blunt force trauma to the head that stops it. So why waste the ammo? Baseball
I'm just-
bat, katana,
Yeah, katana, 100%.
hatchet, axe, whatever you
I
feel
originally
like.
said bow and arrow.
But
then Sam's, you said
what are you gonna do when you miss?
Yep.
You're gonna go look for it for 300 yards. Good luck. I'm telling you, I've shot a lot of bows and I've lost a lot of arrows.
That sounds like a country song right there.
It is. It probably is.
Bows.
What about you, Sam? What's like one topic that really grinds your gears?
Oh yeah, that's one of our upcoming
Mm.
videos. Stay tuned for Grind My Gears.
Might be alcohol.
Alcohol grinds your gears?
No.
Alcohol
Actually,
greases mine up.
Might be alcohol involved in making grind your gears. Because
Oh,
it
yeah.
loosens everybody up. I don't know. There's a lot of things that like really get me going.
I do have one thing, and this really really grinds my gears: the hitches on the back of trucks.
What about it?
That they're not hitching anything; they're just there.
Oh, that bothers me too. It's
Are
like,
you
why
gonna
do
take it
it?
off every time you unhitch something?
Why do
No,
you have to drive around with the hitch if you're not hitching
What
anything?
if I need to hitch something?
but
But why do I need to take it off?
Yeah,
your
like,
preference?
if I just finished hitching something and let go of it, why would I go and dismantle this entire?
You pull a pin. That's all you're doing.
That's how pins get lost.
Amen. That's how you lose shit. This is why we can't have
hold
nice
on.
things.
I had a truck that had a hitch on it, and what I did was I'd take it off, take it out, put the pin back through it, and put it under the back seat of my car because I had them stolen like
He's a
3
responsible hitch owner.
times. So like
He's a mechanic.
everybody, they're expensive.
People steal magnets in this state.
A little bit, just
Yeah.
a little bit of a mechanic.
But yeah, no, the reason why I say that is when there have been multiple times that I've walked through a parking lot, especially Walmart,
And you tripped over
Yeah,
it.
no.
You're walking too close to someone else's car.
and boom, my shin hits.
So why don't you walk? It's like 6 inches farther away from the end of everybody's car.
Or why don't you get better glasses so you can see where you're going?
Oh my god!
Take some personal responsibility.
I had a guy back into me one time, and his hitch pierced my bumper.
Were you on your phone?
No, I wasn't. I was dead stopped.
Did you
and
stop
for some
him?
odd reason?
Did you let him go?
No.
just about to-
I got report done. I got everything.
Victim blaming right now.
I know, but still, the guy pierced my bumper with his freaking hitch. Like, there's no reason for the hitch to be there.
So it
to
wasn't the
anything.
hitch. It's not the
It was
hitch's
his poor
fault.
driving.
It's the guy who couldn't fucking drive.
Were you not moving?
I was at a red light, stopped right behind him.
Not
For some
safe
odd reason,
for
this
work.
guy just decided to back up and pierce my bumper.
They never are.
I know.
Um,
The guy just didn't know how to drive his vehicle. He should have been in like a smart car or something where he could have gotten out. If you cannot back a truck up without hitting something, get rid of it. And I'm sure she's gonna get a lot of comments about how she doesn't that people don't appreciate that. But if you can't drive the
Morse,
size,
very anti-truck.
right? It's not anti-truck. If you can't drive the
anti-bad
size,
driver.
right? If you can't drive the vehicle you have, downsize because you're only gonna keep hitting stuff.
What grinds your gears, Marcos?
Yeah, I know. It's got to be PC.
Yeah, like there's so many things just flowing through my mind that I'm not even saying.
Okay. Do you want to throw what grinds your gears, Sam?
Oh, there's a lot.
Want to throw at least one before we end the show?
No, it's way too deep to end the show on.
What's something that grinds my gears? Like, I've got a lot.
Aaron hates when people just can't talk about what's going on. Like, if there's something going on in the workplace or in her personal life, it really bothers her when she knows that there's something going on and you just can't admit it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, like, I feel like that's a big topic that people don't understand is, like, 9 times out of 10, people are going to be receptive to you when you bring up a sore subject if you're just respectful in the way you do it and you're honest.
I think at least 2 times today I went off on people and literally identified something that I saw them and I'm like, I bet this is an uncomfortable exchange, isn't it? You don't like this. Like, I will call out the uncomfortable to like break that ice.
Yeah, but
Poor Marcos was like, "Whoa." He just watched it like
truth
devolve.
Yeah.
It does. Like, it
But
hurts.
but it takes a good friend or a good companion to be honest with you.
I think the worst friend ever is the one who's gonna lie to you to protect your feelings.
Right.
I
And the
think-
best friend is going to be the one that's like, nah, you're an idiot. Stop being an idiot.
Right. So,
Kyle wins the comment of the night.
if you can't drive a smart car,
Then
you
walk
better
it.
walk, bitch. Yeah, I'm also not a fan of when there's a mistake and you're going to bring to my attention the mistake, that it is not accompanied by a solution. I don't care if it's exactly the solution I would choose, but it starts showing me that you are capable of solving it. Right. I have a profession where people bring me problems and I have to solve them. So when it's kind of like people who are around me and they're like, this happened, I feel like this innate desire to almost mother them. Well, what would you do to solve it?
Oh, we do that with our 8-year-old.
Right. And I kind of mom them. Well, is that effective? And would that
we
help?
learned that very early on. in our field.
She
Because
does
you
it-
heard me. I
hold
tell
on.
you.
She does it to me on like a daily basis. And I'm like, I've offered you solutions. So
I don't
pump the
think that
brakes.
I've ever been yelled at yet
No.
that I know of.
She doesn't yell.
You,
If she
I-
yells, she's over dealing with you.
I've been
So-
to
I'm
Crossfire.
stern.
So Erin, from what I've noticed, she's actually the total opposite. If she stops talking to you entirely, that's
Right.
when she's over.
That's
But-
your
but I
danger.
just
If
said,
I'm
like-
yelling or I'm being passionate about you, it's because I care.
But Aaron,
Because she loves you.
but,
It is.
but there's a difference
Such an-
between Aaron yelling and Aaron being passionate. Aaron gets loud because she's everybody from Boston and
Is that like
Massachusetts
4
is
decibels
loud.
higher?
Like, they're
I'm
just
from
loud.
Massachusetts too, and I feel like I'm the most mild person.
Dude, you're loud.
You're loud.
As
loud.
you literally
But
yelled
that's because
over.
I'm
said-
brown. And that's another 5 decibels.
That's just
all the loud
so you're
factor.
like you're at a decibel 9, and then Aaron's like at a decibel 8 because she's Irish and from Boston.
You add a factor of whiskey, then it, you know.
No, not whiskey. She does rum.
Guinness.
I do rum. I do white rum.
So like you get that involved, and it's total chaos.
Yeah, we you know, it's it honestly, like if I'm speaking to you and even if I'm sounding kind of angry and I'm trying to solve a problem and I'm being really stern, that's a good thing. It's because this is so
She thinks you're
Insulting.
worth it. And
you're worth it and it's worth like working this
teaching
out
you
and it's worth, you know, helping you. You'll be able to
So
take
to
my
all the
guidance.
clients out there, she rides you really hard. She really believes in you.
I
and
really
believes
do.
that you can grow.
No, and even how I explain it to, like, I've been doing a bunch of interviews to replace my old position as paralegal, and even to get a new billing specialist. And what I tell people is that if you're hired, you're going to be yelled at, but they're not yelling at you specifically. It's the situation.
Well, you know, anybody and everybody would want this really like passionate, aggressive attorney. And it would be crazy to think that I'm like passionate and aggressive in a very high stress situation, such as a courtroom, where I would say to the judge, Your Honor, let me be heard, right? Where I would interrupt and I'm going to interject an objection. I'm, you know, fighting this battle for you in a courtroom. And then to you back in my office, you're going to bully me or push me around. I'm like, bruh.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
People.
breaking news: Universal officially announces June 5th they will be reopening Universal Orlando Resorts.
Yay,
So this means
that's
the
good.
end of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, once Disney opens completely, Corona's open.
Nah, Waffle House.
Waffle House. Are they back
Ooh.
open?
Not yet. Well, I think so.
No,
At 50% capacity.
Everything's at 50%
Restaurants,
capacity.
yeah.
Where we're
I
going is probably
almost-
going to be 50%
I almost
capacity.
went to get bunk cakes as a surprise, but there was like 2 people inside and 3 people outside, and I was like, no, not doing this.
I know that's the thing that's hard about this. I understand their desire to have safety. Like I get the government regulations. I don't plan on debating that, right? But what's awful is that it really is, you know, ruining businesses because, for example, Sam was going to go get us bun cakes. I love bun cakes. And he was like, you know what, there's a line out the door. I can't really get in there. It's going to triple the amount of time it's going to take me. And, you know, so they lost out on a sale. Now I get it. And they're doing their best. And I don't want to bash on
I'm impatient. That's
nothing
all she's trying to
but
say.
cakes. But I would do the same thing. You know, I've got this list of things that I need to get done. And if I saw that, I would just keep driving, even though I would have made that purchase. And
I would have, and I was
impulsive.
going to buy enough for the whole office.
Right, I'm impulsive.
Aww.
But it's just
So-
one of those things where it's like, at some point, we all have to realize that
We'll get
the
there.
amount of time that it's going to take for us to get through a lot of things, people aren't going to be willing to wait.
Obviously, who does not have a line is the liquor store.
Oh, no, they had a line.
Oh yeah, they got lines.
But we all going to wait.
Yeah. But
It is,
it's worth. So on this Corona note, the good news is that we can do virtual teams and 3CX. That's our own personal little thing that we have. We can have virtual meetings. We can meet with our clients. That it hasn't slowed us down because Florida was already e-filing. So we were all having a virtual system, which I'm really happy about. I'm really, really happy and proud of our state for that we can continue to help people, because you should have pity on my husband if I weren't able to work.
Amen.
Could you imagine?
I could, and I'd like it for about a month and a half because I enjoy spending time with her. But that honey-do list would, it's already ridiculous.
I'm very A-type, so
and
then I would start to get anxious.
But hold
I
on,
need
I'm
to-
A-type too, where I take initiative and I do a lot of
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
but my job, I get up 2:30 in the morning, and then there's still a honeydew list when I come home.
Oh man, but Sam, Marcos, wow. I'm sorry. Dude, I'm sorry. People forget our names.
You're
just not as cool as me.
That legal person over there.
He's trying to get on the good side of the boss.
I don't have to try.
You just got promoted.
Yes.
Before we close out, we're going to bring out our receptionist, Alexis.
Alexis.
Say happy birthday.
Yay.
So where you at?
That's your cue.
Hang up the phone.
Get over here.
Happy birthday.
I'll switch you.
Yeah.
You can come over to the light side.
Yeah, we want to say happy birthday to our receptionist, Alexis,
Really
who turns what was the number?
Really deep eyes.
24 today. I think I speak on behalf of all of us when I say thank you so much for all the hard work you do throughout the day, helping us get back on track, and you're really appreciated here.
If you have a chance, Tuesday, every one of you should call because Alexis answers the phones and just say happy birthday and then hang up.
Don't hang up, but like call and really talk to her, but say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
But I got this issue. Can you help
and then
me?
say happy birthday.
Right. That is the best way to wish her happy birthday is schedule a consultation.
She does get incentive that is, we'll keep between us, but she is incentivized with that. So help her out.
But as always, I'm about to queue up our waiver, and I'll get that going in 1 second. My apologies for not having this ready, and then this is me literally just.
Let's do the sitcom thing where we pause. Okay.
Ready? Everybody pause.
Hold on. Wait. When he starts reading it.
Oh, too early.
The information provided in this live Q&A does not and is not intended to constitute legal advice. Instead, all information, content, and materials available in this live Q&A are for general informational purposes only. Information on this live Q&A may not constitute the most up-to-date legal or other information. Viewers of this live Q&A should contact an attorney to obtain advice with respect to any particular legal issues. No listener, user, or browser of the site should act or refrain from acting on the basis of information on this live Q&A without first seeking legal advice from counsel in the relevant jurisdiction. Only an individual attorney can provide assurances that the information contained herein and your interpretation of it is applicable or appropriate to your particular situation. Use of and access to this live Q&A and any of the links or resources contained within the site does not create an attorney-client relationship between the listener, user, or browser and website authors, contributors, contributing law firms, and committee members and their respective employers. The views expressed at or through this live Q&A are those of the individual inquirer and their individual capacities and the law office of Attorney Morse. All liability with respect to actions taken or not taken based on the contents of this live Q&A are hereby expressly disclaimed. The content on this posting is provided as is. No representations are made. The content is error-free. We'll see you guys next week.